Hello everyone, welcome to Module 1, Section 1.5. In this section we're going to talk about exponents, just a basic review of what exponents are and powers. And also, and this is really important, we're going to review order of operations. Like if we have an expression, what order do we actually do the operations when we want to find the result of that expression? Okay, so let me start off with powers and exponents. So let's say I give you some power here, like 3 to the 4th. The 3 is called the base, and the 4 is the exponent. So what this means is to take the 3 and multiply it by itself 4 times. So there's basically 4 factors of 3 here. And of course, you could work this out, right? We could say 3 to the 4th is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So this is going to be 9. And then if I do 9 times 3, that's 27. And then finally, 27 times 3 is 81. So 3 to the 4th, we could expand it out, and it's just equal to 81. Okay, what if I had 3 squared times 2 squared times 4? So again, what this means, right, since the 3 is being squared, I multiply it by itself twice. The 2 is being squared, so I multiply by itself twice. And the 4, we don't ever write it, but really the exponent here is a 1. Okay, so the 4 is just multiplied by 4, just by itself. And if we were to expand this out, this would be 9. I'll write everything else out again. Then 9 times 2 is 18. 18 times 2 would be 36. And then 36 times 4, let's do it on the side over here. So this is what, 24 to 12, 14. I guess it's 144. So this is equal 144. Okay? It's really a more efficient way of writing numbers, right? So let me give it to you the other way now. So let's say you're asked to write each number in terms of powers. So if I gave you 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 2. Okay, I'm multiplying everything together, right? So it actually doesn't matter what order I multiply numbers in. If you want, you could rewrite this. I could say this is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. And then since the 2 occurs 3 times, like there's 3 factors of 2, I would write this as 2 to the 3rd, right? The exponent would be 3, times, and in 5, it occurs twice, so its exponent would be 2. So 2 to the 3rd times 5 squared, that would be the answer. Let's say I have, let's do another one here. Let's say I have 6 times 7 times 6 times 7 times 6 times 7. So again, it doesn't matter what order. If you want, you can group. Right, I could put all the 6's together and then the 7's because I'm multiplying everything. So this is the same as 6 cubed to the 3rd power, another way of saying that is cubed, times 7 cubed. And that would be the answer. We sort of mentioned this powers of 10, right, when we were talking about place values, how each place is actually a power of 10. So let's look at that. Let's say I want to express as a power of 10. So if I start with 100, right? Well, we know that 100 is 10 times 10. So I could write that as 10 squared. So the exponent would be 2, right? A million, well, that's going to be 10 raised to the 6th power, right? Because remember, that means 10 times 10 times 10, and I'm going to have 6 factors of 10. If you multiply that out, you're going to get a million, right? 1 with 6 zeros after it. And then 1,000 would be 10, and you can probably guess it's going to be 10 cubed, right? The exponent would be 3, because this is the same as 10 times 10 times 10, right? This would be 100 times 10, which is 1,000. So 10 cubed is another way of writing 1,000. Right? And remember, when we did the place value system, everything was a power of 10. Okay, so that's just the basics of exponents. Now let's turn to a really important topic, which is order of operations. Okay, so order of operations. So again, if I have an expression that I want to expand out, find the result of, I have to be careful on how I do my operations. Like, do I do addition first? Do I do multiplication, division? Like, what order do I perform the operations? Well, there's a set of rules, right, that is agreed upon by the mathematics and scientific community. So first, you're going to start with parentheses. So perform operations within parentheses, brackets, or braces. So perform operations within parentheses. And then brackets and braces are just other ways of writing parentheses. Brackets, braces. And if you have nested parentheses, like parentheses within parentheses, you want to do the innermost first. So I'll say innermost first, if nested. All right, so that's the first thing. Parentheses is sort of like the key thing. Second, you're going to carry out any operations that involve the exponents. So I'll just write exponents. Third, you're going to do the multiplications and divisions. And if you have multiple multiplications and divisions at the same level, you have to do them left to right. Okay, I'll say from left to right. And then finally, you're going to do your addition and subtraction again from left to right. So I'll say addition and subtraction from left to right. Okay, so the question is, how do you remember these? How do you remember these order of operations? There's a couple of mnemonic devices that people use. One of them is PEMDAS. So if you remember this word PEMDAS, then that will help you remind you that parentheses, right, the P stands for parentheses, are done first, then exponents, then multiplication, division, and then addition and subtraction. You have to remember left to right with multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. The other way I learned this when I was younger was please excuse this mnemonic. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And again, it's just to help you remember that parentheses are first, right? So please, parentheses. The excuse, the E, is to remind you that exponents are next. My dear is multiplication, division, right? And then Aunt Sally is addition and subtraction. And you may have heard these. It doesn't matter. However you want to do this is fine. If you want to just memorize them outright, or if you want to use these mnemonics. I usually use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Once you do a bunch of these problems, though, you will just know them. You don't even have to use the mnemonic anymore. All right, so let's do some examples. Let me start off with a straightforward example, and then we'll work our way up a little bit here. Let's say I have this expression that I want to simplify, or I want to evaluate. Okay, so 24 divided by the quantity 4 plus 2. Well, since I have addition, I have division, I have parentheses. I have to do within parentheses, right? Parentheses first. So within the parentheses, I just have a single operation, this addition. So I can do that addition. I'm going to write everything else down again. So 24. I'm going to do that one addition, but once I do that addition, I can remove the parentheses. 4 plus 2 is just 6. And then finally, I have just a division left. So 24 divided by 6 is going to be 4. And that's my answer. So that expression is simply equal to 4 when you simplify it. Okay, here's another example. Let's say I have 3 plus 10 times 20 minus 2 to the third. Okay, so I have addition. I have, by the way, the 10 here, this really means multiplication, right? If it's outside of the parentheses, it means multiply by whatever that resulting value is. I have exponents, I have subtraction, I have parentheses, multiplication, and addition. What do I do first? Parentheses, right? And then within the parentheses, so I have to do within the parentheses first. Within the parentheses, I have subtraction, I have exponents. So within the parentheses, what do I do first? I need to do exponents, right? And then do the subtraction. If you want, you can do that separately on the side here. So let's say I have 20 minus 2 to the third. I have to do 2 to the third first. Well, remember, that means 2 to the third means 2 times 2 times 2, right? So this is 4 times 2, which is 8. So this is 20 minus 8. And now you can do the subtraction. Well, 20 minus 8 is 12. So this, let me write everything down again. So I have 3 plus 10 times, now this is just 12. So actually I can remove the parentheses. This is going to be 12. Okay, so now what do I have left? Well, I have addition, I have multiplication. What's done first? Multiplication beats out addition, right? Multiplication has to be done first. So if I multiply 10 times 12, that's 120. And then finally, I have just addition left, right? My final operation is addition, so I can add these. 3 plus 120 is 123. So that would be my answer. This whole expression simplifies to 123. Okay, what about this? So you could, I'm using brackets. You could use just multiple sets of parentheses, and that's fine. But it's easier to see if you have brackets and braces as well as parentheses. Okay, but it really doesn't matter. I could have used all parentheses, and it would mean exactly the same thing. It's just another type of parentheses. Visually, it's easier to see how things match up if you're using brackets and braces. Okay, so I have brackets, I have parentheses, which are really the same thing, and I want to do the innermost parentheses first, right? Innermost. So that means I have to do this first. So let's do that on the side over here. So I have 8 minus 2 squared. And now within that innermost parentheses, do I do subtraction or do I do exponents? Well, I need to do exponents first, right? So 2 squared is 4. So this is really 8 minus 4. Now I can do the subtraction. 8 minus 4 is 4. So I'm going to write everything down again. So I have 15. It's a good idea, too, to write everything down again so you don't forget to do anything. And I replaced this with my 4 here. And remember, this really means when it's out, the 3 is out front, it means multiplication. So it's 3 times 4. Okay, now I still have parentheses, right, or brackets. So I need to do within those brackets. So I need to do this. Well, within the brackets, I'll do it on the side here. Do I do the multiplication or do I do the subtraction? Well, remember, multiplication comes first, right? It beats subtraction. So this is really 12 minus 6. Now I can do the subtraction and I get 6. So this will be 15 plus 6. And then finally, I have one operation left, the addition. So 15 plus 6 is 21. So that result is simply going to be 21. Okay, so let's finish this section by doing a couple of examples from your homework from My Open Math. So this first question, right, I want to simplify this expression, 7 plus 2 times 6. So again, multiplication is done before addition. 7 plus 2 times 6. So I need to do the multiplication first. So 2 times 6 is 12. So this is 7 plus 12. And of course, 7 plus 12 is 19. So that's going to be my answer, 19. In the next question, I have 3 plus 2 times 9 minus 4. Again, don't forget, this means when the 2 is out front of the parentheses, it means multiplication. So order of operations, right? PEMDAS. I need to do parentheses. So within parentheses, I have just subtraction. So I can do that subtraction. That's going to be 5. And once I've done it, I can remove the parentheses, right? Now, what I have left is addition and multiplication. So I would do multiplication first. So 2 times 5 is 10. So I'll write that down again. And finally, I have an addition left. So 3 plus 10 is going to be 13. So that would be my answer, 13. Okay, let's look at this next example. So I want to evaluate this expression. I have 2 plus 9 divided by 3 plus 8 times 4 squared. So again, right, there's no parentheses, so I work my way down. The next thing I would need to do is exponents. Well, I have 4 squared, so I need to do that. Let me write everything else down again. And then the 4 squared, of course, is 4 times 4, which is 16. Right? So I'll write 16 there. Okay, now if you look here, I have addition, I have division, I have multiplication. So multiplication and division beat addition and subtraction, right? So multiplication and division are done first. But what order do I do them in? Because they're at the same level. Remember, the rule is you do them left to right. So just because this division appears first, I need to do that first, and then I can do the multiplication here. So this is going to be 2 plus, well, 9 divided by 3 is 3, plus, and then 8 times 16, right, I could do that on the side over here. This is 48, and then 8 times 1, oops, this is a 4. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12, so it's 124. And now I have just addition, so actually the order doesn't matter, but because you want to get used to doing things left to right, because if we had addition and subtraction, it would have to be done left to right. Let's just do this left to right. So I will do 2 plus 3 first, which is 5. And then finally I can do 5 plus 124, which is 129. And that would be my answer. Actually, I just noticed one slight error here, right? 16 times 8, this is 48. So this is going to be 128. which means that my answer actually is going to be 133. Okay, so again, we did exponents first, gave 16. Then multiplication, division come before addition, subtraction, but I have to do them left to right. So 9 divided by 3 gave me 3. 8 times 16 was 128. Now all I have left is addition. In fact, I could do it any order, right, if it's all addition. But let's get used to doing it left to right. So 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 128, and then finally 128 plus 5 is 133. All right, let's do one more of these. Okay, so again, I just want to simplify this expression. So I have 5 times 10 plus 3 times 3 times 8 minus 18. Okay, so we have brackets, parentheses, right? Again, brackets are just like parentheses. In fact, again, if you wanted, you could write it like this, right? I could say parentheses 10 plus 3 times parentheses 3 times 8 minus 18. The bracket is visually better because it kind of helps you see what bracket goes with what bracket, right? If it's all parentheses, it's harder to see that, but it's really the same thing. So you could do either. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to do innermost parentheses first. So that means I need to handle this first, right? I need to simplify this first. So let's do that on the side. So I have 3 times 8 minus 18. So I have multiplication, subtraction. What needs to be done first? Well, multiplication needs to be done first, right? It beats out subtraction. So 3 times 8 is 24 minus 18. Well, that's going to be 6. So let me write everything down again, and I'll replace this with a 6. Okay, so now I still have a set of parentheses, so I have to do within the parentheses again, right? So I have 10 plus 3 times 6. I have addition, multiplication. What's done first? Multiplication. So this is the same as 10 plus 18. Right, 3 times 6 is 18. And then 10 plus 18 is 28. So I can remove the parentheses. Remember, this is really multiplication here. This is going to be 28. Finally, that's it, right? I can multiply that out, and it turns out 28 times 5 is 140, right? Let's just do it out here. So 5 times 8 is 40. So write down the 0, carry the 4. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 4 is 140. Yeah, so this is 140. So that would be my answer, 140. So this simplifies to 140, but you have to be careful. You have to use the correct order of operations. Great, thank you.